zile za PCA, zile za hivi. You do this twist.
Yes,
Yeah.
like that. Those ones. Yeah. Hi there, welcome back to the Parenting Millennial. My name is Sharon Kongo and
I'm Ivy.
who?
Ndongo.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we are happy to have you back.
Okay.
So we are continuing with last week's series.
Now I feel like I need to go back to guitar since it's gonna be like a whole thing. I know. I'll find my center. Ivy for now.
Okay. No comment. So anyways, last week we were talking about dating and we mostly ended up talking about courtship before marriage.
Yeah.
And most of you felt that we needed to demystify what is seeing and is it the same as dating, and at what point do you transition from dating to courtship, then to marriage.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you want to go first or do you want me to demystify it? And I don't even think I'll be demystifying it. I'll be just explaining because I know a lot of things have changed through the years.
You can do that, and then our camera person had a
Question.
yes,
Swali,
which she was highly burning
yeah.
to to ask.
Yes.
So
I can start by saying,
yes.
I feel like let me say the traditional meaning of dating is, as I said last time, is when you're seeing many people, because you say, I'm going on a date with this person and I'm going on a date with another person, and it doesn't involve any sort of physical relationship.
No
right?
bumping uglies.
What she said. So,
Literally.
yeah.
Yes.
So you're not having sex with these people. There's literally no physical thing, even kissing.
You're
Pretty
getting
much.
to
That's
know
the way, just
them.
hugs,
Yeah.
if you have to.
Yes.
Right. And hugs are not bad.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah. So now,
I feel like millennials and Gen Z were very touchy.
I know.
Yeah, so it's a thing. If you see someone hugging someone, baby boomers are the ones who are not really big on hugging. If you were hugging
Yeah.
someone, they were your husband,
Yes.
and you couldn't even hug your dad.
Right.
Yeah.
Even how you hug. Like,
Zile za hivi, can you show them?
zile za PCA, zile za hivi. You do this twist.
Yes,
Yeah.
like that. Those ones. Yeah.
I thrive myself. I know, like, when people, okay, let me first, so because I can easily go into another thing. Let me first finish the dating bit. So I think dating right now in this generation, when you say dating and seeing, is the same thing.
Yes,
So
it
I'm
is.
seeing someone, or I was seeing that guy for some time. I feel like it's the same thing.
And Ivy, I think you need to specify. Seeing is not sleeping. We need to insist on that.
Let's just put a caveat that we're not talking about sex at all.
Yes.
At all.
It's not sexual.
Yes. Even in the ideal setting, because we are trying to bring back things to the original design.
Yes. God's way.
Even at courtship, there's no sex.
yes, there's no
So
sex.
when you talk about sex should be in marriage.
Yes.
Done.
And I know most people are asking, how is that possible given that we are human beings? But
we will
we'll
get to that.
Yes.
We'll get to that. We totally understand that we are sexual
Yes.
beings and you have needs and wants. I wouldn't even call them needs.
They are wants.
Wants. Yes.
True.
So we have wants, and sometimes the flesh can burn.
Yes.
So we'll get to that at one point.
To us.
So yes. So for now, when you talk about dating, we're really talking about fast base. You've gotten to meet somebody and you want to hang out. Because hanging out, let's actually bring in hanging out.
Yes. Yes. Actually, let's change it to hanging out.
Yeah, let's say hanging out is when you're hanging out just as friends. There's no date, there's nothing.
Yeah.
If the two of you have to bridge from hanging out to dating, then there should be a proposal.
Yeah.
I think communication should
A
be
verbal
there. Yes.
one.
Like, I want to take you out
Yeah.
on a date.
Yes.
Right?
Not assuming.
Not assuming we're still hanging out.
Yeah.
But you're having this meal, because we do hang out. Yeah. So then after hanging out, then you go to dating.
Yes.
And then when you're dating, I mean, you're free to date other people as long as the two of you are also communicating that
That you're dating other people.
I'm getting to know you, right? But in also this dating, it can be purposeful dating. Like you can choose to date one person. There's no problem with that. It's not everyone who can be able to. My dad says you can't turn two chapels at the same time. One will burn. So
It can be,
yeah.
you get to know someone, then you're like, oh, I'm not really sure. So
don't push it too
Yeah,
far.
then-
Just cut it off.
yeah,
So
Bring
friend
it back.
zone them.
Take it back to hanging out.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So what you mean is exclusivity comes after you've had that conversation with that one person that you want to date.
Yes.
I think communication should always be there. Assumptions just causes a lot of issues.
That is what makes people come from Kitale with axes to murder you in Nairobi.
because you thought, because I'm talking to you and I've been texting you for the last 3 months,
Yeah.
you think we're exclusive.
Yes.
I think communication should always be there. Like, hey, I know you're a good friend. Even let them know that. Always make it very clear. Let the other person always know that we're just hanging out
Yeah.
or we are dating. But that doesn't stop me from meeting other people. You know,
I agree.
don't hide it. Don't take people for a ride. In fact, like you're using this person or you're. It's not a. So this is not a time for you to perform. Let me use it like that because people feel like they need to, especially for girls, feel to cook for someone so that you see if this person thinks you're a wife material.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Actually, I think there should even be like, give yourself time to experience different characters so that you know what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah.
Because, and that's why you're told mature first, so that you know yourself, know what you want. That way you don't end up overdoing it.
Right.
Can you imagine dating one person and then you're there busy cooking? You give them all.
You give them your all.
You give them your all, and then at the end of the day you end up realizing that that's not the person you want to marry.
Yeah.
Start
And not,
slow.
Not only that, I think there's also a thing about girls thinking that they need to perform for men.
Yes.
And you forget you also have to check out the guy.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
It's just like I usually tell people,
You're not
during
on
that
sale.
point,
Yeah.
and during that point when the guy asks you to, please, will you marry me? We always make it like that question is the biggest part. The biggest part is really the answer.
It's true.
It's who says yes or no.
Yeah.
So don't forget that you're also saying
Exactly.
the yes, and you have to know what you're saying to. So if
Yeah.
you're busy cooking and performing for the guy, you'll forget to check him out. And you're always
Because you're
there
busy trying to
impress.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So it should be two-way.
And you know, Ivy,
He
you're
gets to
right.
know it, yeah.
Because that's how come you find most women in marriage, they enter, and then when they're in marriage, that's when they're realizing, hey, this person is like this and this and this. And then when you ask them, you're like, at the beginning of when you were dating, they were not like that. How would you have noticed they're like that if
When
you
you're all
didn't check?
performing,
Yeah, you
yeah.
were busy performing. You are not
Yes.
looking to see what kind of a person this man
Right.
is. That's why the red flags. Exactly, he
didn't
didn't date. He dated you. You were there already made up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
You
how
were
come you
putting
miss
on
the
a
red
show.
flags.
This guy was coming to eat. So tell me what characteristic is eating.
That's why you miss the red flags.
Yeah.
Because we're always told, look out for the red flags. You can only see them when you're dating.
Yeah.
Now, remember today we are talking about dating
Yes.
over the years.
Over the years,
Yes.
we're looking at dating through.
Through millennial to Gen Z, what has changed. I think we can first start by discussing the mode of communication. How
Okay.
people used to communicate.
Last time I touched slightly about letters
Yes.
and used to write notes
Yes.
and letters. But then the phones came in, right? And the text messaging. So it became more instant. Back in the day, you had to wait.
Yes,
You
true.
had to wait for a reply. I remember even our age, we used to do this dedication thing on Insider. And it was almost a thing that you know a guy is kind of like likes you
Yes.
if he dedicates something on Insider. But there was the letter writing and you get to know each other. Then we would, even over school holidays, I think also depends on your upbringing.
Yes.
I was not allowed to hang out with boys at
Me too.
all.
Me too.
At all, like
Yeah, and given that we were raised as girls, that was very hard. I actually had this one friend who was a boy, no, two, and we got into trouble quite a few times. But then we were family friends.
Yeah.
Those were the only two boys I was allowed to hang out with because they were more like brothers rather than boyfriends.
we were shipped to Bundus,
Really?
middle of the shags, literally. and if a guy, maybe just the neighborhood guy showed up, you'd see the looks from my folks like, what is he doing here?
What does he want?
Yeah.
Okay.
So except that, so back mode of communication, so as we were saying, there was letters,
Yes.
and then now became text messages. So the wait was shortened, you know.
Yes.
There's a certain lady who told me that for them, because them they're the baby boomers, that's what they call the boomers.
Yes.
They told me like the reason why they got married so fast is because the wait was so long. You know, like imagine writing a letter to some girl in another town, telling her on this day we meet over
Actually,
a certain time.
it used to be on this day I will call you, because they had the phone booths.
So you have to go and wait at the booth.
You have to go to wait at the
Yes.
booth. If you agree at 10,
Yeah.
so you need to
And
be
you
there.
had to be a timekeeper.
Yes.
Because
Now imagine you found there's a queue at the booth and it's at 10.
oh god.
So there had to be that understanding.
Yeah. So she was making fun. She was saying we didn't have the luxury of waiting.
Yeah.
Or this like you just find each other, you do this thing quick, fast, move on. But now you see the wait period was cut short to an instant message. The text messages came.
Yeah.
So I think the mode of communication has played a bigger part because now interaction became instant.
Yeah, true.
As before, there was always that wait and created more longing.
And you know, like for Gen Zs, they've been born into technology.
Oh, they can't even imagine a life without this.
Yes. By the way, you guys don't know any other life
Except
I don't even think. Have you guys written letters?
Yes.
Are you sure?
because you're in school and you had to communicate with your folks,
No,
right?
no.
Yes.
But Papu is just at the end of
Apoto.
yes. Some people who I will not mention, I don't think they ever wrote any letters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did. The one for English, being taught how to letter write.
There's that, and there's also just communicating to different people in different schools. So
Oh,
we used to
okay.
receive letters from boys.
Oh. Yeah, but basically
Fine.
what you're saying,
They wrote letters.
the way we communicate, especially during dating, has really transformed.
It has.
Right now, it's WhatsApp, Blue Tick Me, you know, all those things. And
Yeah.
it has really changed the way dating is happening. So there's no that personal touch, really.
None at
You can
all.
actually date online.
Yes.
Yes.
You can.
And you can, I feel like dating online really takes away from the physical aspect of it, because the way someone writes, you judge them from that.
Yeah.
Yes, the tone, you know, you can judge someone and dismiss them immediately without even really knowing what they're about.
What they are.
So
yeah.
you tend to miss out on that a lot. Yeah,
Okay.
on the aspect of knowing the person.
Personal.
So if you're dating, try and do it physically so that you get to experience the whole person, not just one side.
yeah.
What do you think? Fast
food.
food. True
I
that.
think yes. Dating online can be very impersonal, and you
Yes.
can actually get to know somebody else in a different persona.
Yes.
They even might look like they know, or they talk a lot, or they are very outgoing. But when you meet them, they're very quiet.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing is that now that I've been in this thing of dating and this phone and FaceTime and all these things, I kind of miss letter writing.
I know, right?
I want someone to just sit down and write me. Papu, you do poems. Do
Yeah.
poems. Write poems for people. Give it a personal touch. I think it's nice.
True.
Yeah.
And then also the aspect of going back. Did you used to do that? Like on a Saturday afternoon in school when you've already done your washing and all, you sit back and go through the letters.
And you go through all the letters.
Yes. You go through all the
Do you know I
letters.
still have my letters? Not
You
from
do.
high school. No, that's creepy.
Yeah, that would be creepy.
But there's like notes people wrote you,
Yeah.
even just girls, like stuff used to do in school. I have those books.
Oh,
I have cards or just letters, guys, and I like
interesting.
reading them. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know where mine went. So we also need
I'm a hoarder.
yeah. Then I think something else that has changed is how people meet, the places to meet. Like baby boomers used to meet where? In parks.
Church. They were Do you know? Young. What's this thing? This thing that had a scandal, the money
What?
scandal, the youth fund. What was it called?
NYS.
NYS. Yes, it was a thing, right? People would leave high school and go to.
Oh yes,
NYS,
oh yeah.
right? So
That's
you
how
have
people
youth
used to
groups in
meet.
church. You
Yeah.
have organized. There were a lot of organized things. Can I tell you a funny story? When I started my own business, remember the first thing my dad told me, because I was 25 back then, 24, 25.
You're not that ancient, Ivy. You know, you're speaking like it was,
It's been a while. But anyway, when
but it feels like it's that long ago.
when you think about it, but when I started my business, my dad told me, like, Ivy, I'm worried. I'm worried about you going into business because you've taken a very lonely path.
You won't be able to.
You
meet
won't
people.
meet people. Yes. And she's like, you see, in our days, we had youth groups.
Yeah.
We had, we were getting employed by the government. So you'd meet people. My
Yes.
mom and dad met at work. My dad was a resident. My mom was an intern. So
Oh.
yeah,
Okay.
so my dad was like concerned that I will not find people. So he was telling me, when you see your mom pushing you to join youth groups and go to church, because he wants you to interact
With like-minded
with
people.
like-minded or young people. I think his just goal was get married, get a man, settle. But yeah, things have changed because now, I mean, people still go to church to meet people,
Yeah.
hoping to meet people, because there are also those organized groups in the church.
Yes.
But what has really changed is a lot of guys meeting in a club, because you will find people say, we met in this club, we hooked
Yeah.
up, we were having drinks, we hooked up. Some people still meet at work. I think that is still there.
Yes, that's
Right.
still there.
But I feel like a lot of guys in this generation have taken things to the club.
Yes,
A
true.
lot.
And the apps. The apps was the millennials. Is it? Do you guys still do apps?
Absolutely.
Like dating up.
Dating apps.
I feel like the apps are more hookups. I think like dating anymore.
They started off that way.
I have a friend who met the boyfriend on a dating app, and they've been dating. This is the third year in.
Okay.
So let's say the apps are playing, because
Yeah.
you slide into my DM and say, hey, can we have coffee sometime? I think it's possible.
Yeah. But like we said in the other video, you need to be very careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they've turned into more of hookup apps rather than meeting and
And con, you meet so many con.
like the Tinder swindler. Have you watched the Tinder swindler?
May I have issues with that Tinder syndrome, because I'm very sure that was like a marketing gimmick.
Because most people now ended up going to.
No, the guy has established himself.
Oh
up.
yeah, he
I'm like,
has.
that was such a PR, very well
so
PR
true.
orchestrated thing. It was
Eh.
brilliant. If
But
you ask me.
still, I thank God I didn't try one of those news apps.
There's a friend of mine says this, and I find it very true, because you're talking about apps, to be careful. You cannot control who you attract, but you can control who you entertain.
Yes, that's
So
true.
you can't, if you go on apps and you attract everyone, you can say, oh, I'm always attracting guys who are like this, or married people. You can't control that. But who you entertain, it's up to you.
Yeah, and attraction is fleeting. It does.
Precious.
It issues at some point. So that's why you're told build on the attraction to things that are tangible, things you can hold on to once the attraction is over.
It's over.
Yeah.
I think even now brings us to that other point of dating through the years, the
Oh,
role
yes.
of the commercialization,
Yes.
both money wise and both the looks.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
I think makeup has always been there.
Yes.
But I feel like we're in a place where makeup is blown up
True.
right now. We have everyone doing a wig or weaves. We have lots and lots
Of
of
fake things. Artificial things. I don't want to be bashed.
yes.
Artificial. I take back my words.
There are a lot of there are a lot of making
Yes,
up
yes,
things.
true.
So I think it looks nice.
For
You
the-
can
yeah.
do a weave that looks very nice.
Yes.
Makeup, men, I am in awe of people who are able to just do their face and it blends, because I have no clue how to do it. But it looks nice.
Yeah.
But I think what happens is that people forget to make up the in part, and we're doing a lot of
Outside.
outside.
Yes.
And so you are being attracted to what you see, and when you get there, it's far from good and good from far situation.
Yes.
So we're investing a lot. There's, I think, when the verse in the Bible that says your heart, out of the heart flows
Finish. Out of the heart flows. Okay.
life. That's Matthew 6:21 that says, for where your treasure is, there is where your heart also is. So when you look at heart, is what you really love and what you invest your time with. If actually, when you think about it, it's what you spend your time and money on. So what is that you're taking time on? Is it your looks?
Yes.
So if you're always spending money and time on the looks, then that's what will become well and defined and everything. So are you also taking time to grow you? What remains when you take away the makeup and remove the weave?
Yeah.
Are you taking time on that? Because if your heart also lies there, then means it will grow.
Yeah, it's
right.
True.
So I feel like over the years, even I look at the mode of dressing. Back in the day, yes, our parents did little minis. My God,
They did.
Tiny.
Oh my God.
And I loved this trumpet trousers, the flares,
yeah. And
really
the
good in the blocks and stuff. And then, us 80s, 90s kids, we were more of the baggy stuff.
Yes.
I remember, and I was very young because now the guys who are older, they can tell me, we used to go going to the club was baggy stuff and hoodies and t-shirts. No one cared about how anyone looked because we were all going to dance.
Yes.
You know, the dancing was what was taking us out and you get to know people. But now it's like the less it's more about how you look.
Yes.
It stopped even being we're going out to have fun and dance.
Yeah.
Do you know when clubs don't have dance floors anymore?
Yeah, it's true. It's more about I'm coming to check people out.
Yeah.
Who can be next?
And drink.
Yes,
And then if you look at even the commercialization bit of it, there are so many brands of alcohol.
Yes, so
than
true.
were back in the day. The best you do back in the early 90s, I'm not that old anymore, but I know, was a beer.
In a day, you could go out with a guy, have fun, and then go your separate ways.
Yes.
Like, you know, I'm just interested in going out, having fun, and then going home.
But now it's like the end of it looks more like I'm going home and hoping to
I buy you a drink, so you need to repay me back.
cheapo you, sort of thing.
Yes.
And even back in the day, it was like an organized group sort of thing. I think also that still happens.
Yeah.
Where guys would
But
come.
nowadays, they've turned into orgies.
Oui.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, but you see, like even nowadays when
true.
children are coming from school, what are the things you hear on in the news? Like house parties, people are
orgies.
exactly, you know.
And they have a lot of, and now they have social media. It's really not working.
Yeah,
for
it's
them.
not. It's really not working.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of commercialization in that aspect, and people are out to make money. Now, there's another question someone asked. They asked, at what point do you know you're transitioning from dating to courtship?
Communication, number one.
Yes.
I think communication is a good thing. I don't think you should rely on signs. Why is
Mixed signals.
mixed signals. You might think, oh, this guy, maybe you're used to going to Naivasha, then he takes you to the marriage. Like, okay, now he's getting serious with me because spending more money on me. It's not necessarily. Maybe he
could
just
just-
got a more
yeah.
surplus income and now
Yeah.
he can do better things and needs more company
Ama he
with
just
you.
wants to go to Mara.
He just wants to go to marry and you happen
Yeah.
to be available.
Yes.
Also for guys, don't think because a girl is cooking for you and she treats you nice when you go and visit her, she probably does that for everyone.
Yeah.
So don't
Okay.
don't go for signs. So I think if you want to know you're transitioning, talk about it. Talk about it. Let it be known
And I feel like there'll be that mutual pull towards
towards each other.
Yes, towards each other. And then if you're dating more people, you'll find that you're concentrating more on that one person. Yes. So the signs will be there.
The signs will be there.
Know yourself.
Yes.
Know what you want. Know what you like. The signs will be there. And at some point, if you feel now the pull, you guys are coming together, it doesn't really matter who initiates the conversation, right?
I don't think it should.
Yeah, it shouldn't.
Yes.
But always let the man take the lead in the sense that don't be the one to push it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I would say, and I'm gonna say this because I've struggled with control myself, always wanting to be the one ahead, spearheading it, and I also want to be the one to end it.
Yeah.
Because I want to be on top of things. So I've learned is throw it out there. Ask the guy, so hey, we've been doing this for a while. I want to know where's your head at. And if he says I'm not yet there,
It's okay. Yeah. Let it
respect
lie.
that. Respect it and go like, oh, cool.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean that he won't get there. It's just that he's not ready at that particular point.
Yeah, and respect if that honesty comes, because it's better than someone who just drags you on and you end up wasting time. So if someone says, no, we're not doing this.
And then I also feel like as a Christian, let's say, because we are talking about dating in the Christian context, right? If you're dating someone, both of you most probably want the same things, right? You're headed in the same direction. So dating people who are like-minded, even the Bible says, do not be unequally yoked.
Can I just interject and say, when we say Christian, we don't mean church-going people.
No.
No.
We don't. We mean
Well, actually, we fear those.
Yes. Because even in church, you find very
yeah.
It has become something.
Yes, it's a thing nowadays, right?
A friend of mine alisema our church.
Wachana na wao. Yeah, it's
moto
true.
wakotea mbali.
Because going to church doesn't make you a believer of Christ.
In fact, I'm very wary about people who come and say, oh yeah, I grew up in a Christian family, we went to church every Sunday. I'm like,
look at PKs. Look at PKs, pastors' kids.
I'm sorry, but
yes. Some of them really end up in, the more closer you are in terms of family, your family is closer to God, the worse off you are. So it's not about someone who's going to church. Look at their value system. Look at their principles, Look at what they stand for. Are they in line with what you stand for? That's what we are talking about.
And also I always say this, look at someone's relationship with God.
Yes.
And I'm not saying someone who will be just kneeling and start praying. No, you can tell a lot about how someone interacts with you and other people, where they are at with their Christian walk.
True.
Right?
And the kind of compromises they make and do not make. Yes. That
Values really tell a lot.
They tell a lot. Because if you go to church, that does not make you a Christian.
At all.
Yeah, it doesn't. So I think that's important too. So basically what you're trying to say is the transition from dating to courtship has to be a decision that both of you make, and it has to be communicated verbally. It is not an assumption.
Don't assume.
So now, is there a question you had, Racy? Okay. So now during courtship, what happens during courtship? What is this? Does courtship lead to marriage?
That, Sharon, yes. What is
Oh yeah, no, I'm the one who. Okay, courtship it doesn't necessarily lead to marriage.
No, it doesn't.
Yes. So basically, it's getting more serious with this person in the sense that you get to know them, at a deeper level. Now, this is where the talks of finances, talks of family expectations, you get to know them, get to understand them, who they are, what they stand for,
the family they come from.
Yes, the family they come from, because some people have baggage for days, and are you willing
to take on this baggage?
It
doesn't mean people with baggage are not supposed to be. They're supposed to be loved.
Yes. Do not get me wrong,
because everyone has baggage. Everyone has baggage. I think it's just understanding. There is this person able to draw like a boundary. That's important. Because when I usually say, look at the family people come from, but you see, I always tell people also look at the person. Like, this person has come from this family and has been able to do this for themselves. Is also quite something, because it's like you'll find, I like using this example a lot, you can find an alcoholic father who has sons, and one of those sons becomes such an alcoholic, and the other one decides, I'm never touching alcohol, and they will say, because my dad was an alcoholic.
Exactly. And also the alcoholic also becomes an alcoholic because it is passed on.
It is
generationally. It's also something that is spiritual. So I think those are the things you need to look at. Are you willing to put up with the things you can change, so to speak, but mind you can never change someone, but the things you're willing to commit to God, are you willing to fight those battles?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you guys are coming together. If it ends up in marriage, that is, he'll come with his generational ties, and I will come with mine, and then we will form our own generation.
Form
Yeah.
ours.
So are we willing to pray away these,
Yes.
things that are in the negative,
And also work towards living them.
Yes.
Continuously working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because marriage is a continuous process. It doesn't stop once you get married. So courtship is the process of knowing if you're willing to take up this other person's positivity and negative issues and everything they come with for life.
For life.
Yes.
In fact, my mom says, look at someone's negative, then look whether you can deal with those ones.
Yeah, that's true.
Long term.
Yeah.
I have, I like quoting people because they say there's a client turned friend who told me that if your guy treats you like a D plus when you're dating, when you get married you'll be an E.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If he treats you like an A, then at least you can downgrade to a B. You're okay with a B. Just be sure. Are you ready for an E?
If you're ready for an E, go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Yes. So even look
it's
at
up
it
to you.
as even from a guy's perspective. If this chick is being an A when you're dating, she'll probably be a B.
Yeah.
If she's being a C, expect a D.
Because you start out the two of you,
Yeah.
then the kids come in, then the in-laws are there, then you make new friends, careers, and then at some point you realize that you're changing.
You are.
You're
And change is
evolving.
guaranteed.
Yes, you're evolving, and this evolution makes
Yeah.
you totally, it changes you as a person. So the way you take this person, they're either going to become worse,
Yeah.
or better.
Yeah,
So
there's
that-
also room for improvement.
Yes,
It
there's
doesn't mean
room-
that always
yeah.
it's going to be bad.
But don't enter into a relationship thinking you're going to change someone. Only God
Only God.
can change someone.
Yeah.
So the only thing you have control over is who you choose. Yes, but that also is controlled by what God says. So, and that's why we said in our last video, it's important to ask God for guidance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, true.
Yes. And if you're looking for that scripture that says God can change, it's only God who can change hearts. And it's even in scripture, a lot in Isaiah,
Yes.
he can put thoughts in men and they'll think it's them, but it's really God. Understand the sovereignty of the God we serve. You'll be in a better place to stop being in control. That has been my lesson, that I am really not in control.
Yeah, it's true.
So God is in control, and let's give it to him. His things are in better hands
Yeah.
when they're in God's hands, including your dating life and your courtship and your marriage.
And